Okay, we'll do the whole thing as a take two. Check, check. I think I'm going to crank up this light a little bit. How are you at making predictions? Probably terrible, but don't feel bad. We all are. Here's why. I'll start by saying I'll do the best I can to edit out the drone of cicadas, but they're really loud right now. I took this reading not far from my office window. I don't really have the gear for recording at night when the cicadas are quiet, so I'm kind of stuck. We make predictions all the time about everything. About our health, about our careers, about our relationships, and in the recent past it seems that vast numbers of us have become expert predictors on politics and COVID, or at least we think we are. The sad fact is, we're pretty terrible at making predictions. We're even worse at taking ownership of our failed predictions. We blame factors outside ourselves when, in truth, considering outside factors should be part of our predictive process. We need to fess up when we mess up and accept that we're bad at making predictions. We just are. And scoffers, please watch the entire video before commenting that predictions do come true, or at least yours do. I read David Orrell's book, The Future of Everything, soon after it came out in December 2006. I reread it several times before eventually donating it to our local library to make room for more books. By the time I parted with it, I'd extracted as much as I could. It's a fairly challenging read, but also quite illuminating. I put my affiliate links to this book as well as to his follow-up book, Apollo's Arrow, in the description. This is not a book review. I mentioned The Future of Everything because it solidified my thinking on planning and predicting. For years, I'd been sharing with others what I call my 90% rule. That rule says 90% of what I worry about never happens. 90% of the negative stuff that occurs in my life I never saw coming. I stink at worrying, so I quit. On reflection, I saw that I had similar poor results anticipating anything, so not only did I stop worrying, I stopped predicting. It was a liberating change in thinking and added greatly to my quality of life. I also radically reduced my planning. Doing so was part of the broader shift, but was also meant to address a specific shortcoming in my conduct. I wasn't great at planning, but spent a lot of time on it. Actually, I was okay at planning, but I wasn't great at follow-through and spent very little time on that. I was devoting hours to making my plans, but little time to executing my plans, so I scaled way back on planning and decided to do something different. That's a topic for another video. By the way, our reliance on others' abilities to make predictions allowed one scammer to make a lot of money some years ago. I share that story with my behind-the-scenes and angel supporters on Patreon. So why are we so bad at making predictions? Blending what I learned from Orrell's book with what knowledge I had, here are the 3 reasons I synthesized for why predictions fail. First, you don't have a perfect understanding of conditions at the beginning. No one has that perfect understanding. And errors are like compound interest. A small error in understanding at the beginning is amplified over time until that small error creates a massive gulf between the prediction and the outcome. This isn't always true. Sometimes the error gets damped by other factors so that it's of minimal or even no consequence. But it's generally true that an inaccurate or incomplete assessment of initial conditions will jeopardize the accuracy of the prediction. Second, you have to have a perfect model for your prediction. The same caveats that apply to the first point apply here. We can't have a perfect model, and errors in that model compound over time. Third, the effects of unanticipated forces will change the trajectory of your model, and there will nearly always be at least one unanticipated force, most of them external to us. How many people's predictions were corrupted by COVID? Pretty much everyone. No one saw this coming, although we should have. There were several documentaries in the 2003 to 2005 timeframe that predicted something like COVID with eerie accuracy. These were mostly in response to 9/11, when we suddenly realized America was at risk from non-traditional attacks and that bioterrorism was a profound possibility. Whether COVID is somehow related to bioterrorism research remains a topic of debate, but the way the virus rolled out and its impact on society is foretold in several of these documentaries. So, do all predictions fail? No, some predictions do indeed come true. Let's create a prediction to use as an example. I predict that I'm going to rise from my office chair, walk into the kitchen, get an apple, and eat it. Assume that prediction is fulfilled. Based on what we've already discussed, here are the 3 reasons why that and other predictions come to pass. First, I have a perfect understanding of the initial conditions. I am sitting in my office chair. I have a clear path to the kitchen. I know that there are apples in the kitchen. I know I am physically capable of all the required processes, walking to the kitchen, removing an apple from the fridge, and eating it. Second, my model is nearly perfect. It is extremely simple and therefore has high likelihood of success. It consists of known values and relies on actions I've performed countless times in the past. Third, there isn't much chance for unexpected forces to corrupt the prediction. Some perturbation could occur. Before starting or in the midst of executing the procedure, I may be interrupted by a phone call or other event and then fail to return to my apple mission at the conclusion of that interruption. I may drop dead before reaching the kitchen or even before rising from my office chair. That's extremely unlikely, but we all got to go sometime, and it's possible this could be my time. Just because something is improbable doesn't mean it's impossible. There are 3 reasons outside the context of Orrell's book and our core discussion why some predictions come true. One is that they lack specificity. I didn't say I was going to rise from my office chair at precisely 9:37:28 local time, take 41 paces in 20 seconds to reach the kitchen, open the refrigerator door with my right hand, extract an apple with a mass of 96.4 grams. You get the idea. Generalities favor predictive success. The second supplemental reason is that reality is dynamic, and many predictions sooner or later come to pass just because of this dynamic nature of life. If I made my initial apple prediction every day of the month, every month for the year, eventually it would come true. Dumb luck and randomness also favor predictive success eventually. The third reason is that some things are predictable after they've been extensively researched. This is especially true of humans, as explained in the book Predictably Irrational by Dan Ariely. I love social psychology, and I love this book. A link to the book on Amazon is with my other affiliate links in the description. The emergence of the cicadas I mentioned at the beginning is another phenomenon that was easy to predict with great accuracy. My thanks to those supporting my efforts. In addition to using my affiliate links, you can support me on a monthly basis through Patreon or with a one-time contribution through PayPal. Links are in the description. There's much more we could discuss on this topic, but we'll leave it here for now. I'm Rich Reese, and I predict that I'll see you out there, eventually.